Okay, here we go. The first new model review of 2014. I'm going to try to keep my shadow out of the frame as much as possible because of the way I got this set up right now. It's not exactly perfect yet, but I wanted to get this 336EH review done because I said I've been going to do it for a while now, and for once, Cranes, etc., and miniature construction world haven't beat me to the punch on a piece, and that's really unusual because I'm usually like 6 to 8 months behind them. So anyway, here we go. This is the Caterpillar 336EH hybrid excavator. This is a tier 4 interim machine in real life, which doesn't really make much of a difference in the scale model world, because as far as I know, the tier 4 final machines, which would be the F series excavators, will be the exact same body style, and we're supposed to see those, I believe, at Con Expo here in a couple weeks, month, whatever it is. Can't keep track of everything. So I'm going to apologize in advance. My shadow probably is going to be in the picture a few times, trying to zoom in with the camera and stuff, but what I'm going to do first is kind of show you guys up front, up close. It's for a Norscot piece. It's hard to believe I'm even saying this, but it's a pretty nice piece. The price is a little high, but here you can see, I'll start out showing you the graphics. Cat 336EH for hybrid. Now you'll notice, and you're not going to be able to see it real well to the right of that, but there's some indentations in the body, and one of the things, not to start out the review on a bad note, but one of the things that Norscot left out was the pad printing, or the decals, mesh pad printing or mesh decals, and they're notorious for that. The D6K dozer, the D6T, I'm sure there's probably some on the D7 that wasn't done. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're notorious for this. I don't know why. So there's four, I believe, yes, 4 spots there in the center of the frame that are supposed to have mesh decals. Now I already have them. I bought some from Buffalo Road Imports. I have them, but I didn't want to put them on until I reviewed the model, because I wanted to review the model in its stock form, because I think that's what everybody would want to see. So they did a decent job. Not fantastic, but a decent job on the cab, the E-Series cab. Now the one thing, and it's hard to see because everything's black, but there's 2 mirrors on this cab. And I'm not a everyday equipment operator. I do some here and there, but I've been around a few 336s, and I've yet to see one with 2 mirrors on the cab. I'm just gonna try to show you that so that you can see it a little bit better. There you go. See, 2 mirrors. I'm not really sure what they were going for there. I haven't had the time to go look on Cat's website. I suppose it could be an option, but I think this mirror that's on the front of the cab, I think all you would be doing is looking at a reflection of yourself in the seat. So I don't know. Overall, like I say, the cab's pretty decent. They did a nice job on the tracks and the undercarriage. They did change it up a little bit from the 330s. The one thing I have to give Norscot credit for, even though their tracks are a little bit more breakable, they have not gone to the hoop and link tracks. And I will give them credit until the end of time for that, because they don't look realistic, they aren't realistic, and it just totally destroys the whole metal track feature, in my opinion. Now, moving on, before I forget, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show this, but they did make a little Yeah, that didn't work out. We'll try that again. They did make a little hybrid, as you can see there. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Hybrid decal that's on the real 336E hybrid. And you can see up there's the side of the engine cover and the air cleaner. They did a nice job with that. The tracks are, they seem a little narrow, but then again they did on the 330 and the 336D. The one thing about this machine that's kind of different is they put a sewer stick on this machine, or a long stick. They have not done that on any model that I am aware of, and I haven't taken the exact measurements, but I actually think that this might be too big. It may not be, but it's very, very large, which I like. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a great feature. I wish they would do it on more of their excavator models instead of the short, standard, reach, stick, bucket configuration. So, for those of you who are a fan of the Mike's Models 2011 Facebook page, which is the Facebook page for the Mike's Model Reviews YouTube channel, what the YouTube channel was previously called, have seen some of the comments that I've made about the 336 before I reviewed it. So, before I forget, I'm going to show you guys right now that there is enough reach on this machine where the bucket can actually hit the cab. And I made that comment on Facebook. And so for those of you who saw that, now you know I'm not kidding. If you don't have one, it is possible. Now, this is one of the great things that Norscot did, in my opinion, is they actually engineered this model for once to be able to really close in tight. And the bucket curls all the way in very, very nicely and goes all the way down. So we can finally put a Norscot excavator model on a lowboy, and it will actually look realistic. Thank you, whoever at Norscot engineered that, designed it. Thank you for getting with the program after how many years now of making scale models for Caterpillar. Now, of course, again, if there's a problem with the model, it's just as much on Cat as it is on Norscot, because Cat approves the models. Everybody knows that, at least they should by now. But anyway, I digress. So what I'm going to do now is show you the complete reach of the model, which is pretty spectacular. It's very, very long. Now, when it's reached out, stretched out with the bucket down, it's not a problem. But if you try to put the boom up, it doesn't really work out too well. You can see there's a lot of creep, and I'm going to let it go all the way down to show you, because it's doing it slow enough that it's hard to see on camera. But the bucket, boomstick bucket, will creep all the way down. There is a certain spot that you can get it to where it'll kind of stay up. And it does have a spectacular reach. The digging depth in inches, I believe, is somewhere around 5.5. Because I checked it, but I already checked it, I don't know, probably a week ago. So they did a nice job with that. The features, again, of the model, they are nice. One of the things about the 336, I'm going to bring it a little closer, that I like a lot is the way they made it. It swings, as you can see. You can swing at 360, and I just barely kind of flick it, and it goes 360 like nothing. They did a nice job on that. I like that a lot. And it's real smooth. But you're going to see again that the boom, even in that position, is creeping down. See? That's not very impressive, unfortunately. Now, for, on average, a $90 model, retail, that's really not acceptable. And there's at least one other thing that's not acceptable on this model too, but I'll get to that in a second. For the most part on this piece, Norscot did a good job, and I'm not really sure how that happened, but they did. The counterweight and the cat logo, the graphics on the counterweight are very nice. They're very clear, clean, crisp, which is impressive. The little backup camera on the counterweight, which is barely noticeable right above the A, I don't really think that's quite big enough. You can kind of see a little bit better now what I was talking about, for those of you who don't already have one of these, about the areas in the body that are recessed. They're just to the left of the edge of the counterweight. You know, that was a screw up in my opinion. The other thing that most of the excavators have, they usually have the eyelets on the counterweight, usually have holes in them. They do on the real machine. Not sure why they didn't do that. Here you're getting a nice view of the engine cover, the exhaust. I think they did a nice job on the exhaust. And again, the air cleaner, the railings on the right side of the machine are plastic, as is the mirror. The handrail on the cab is plastic, as are both of the two mirrors on there. Just another little better shot of the tracks here. I want this review to be as thorough as it can be. I'm already almost 12 and a half minutes into the review, so it certainly is longer than I would have expected. Trying to get my shadow out of here. You can see what they did with the hydraulic lines on this model. It's nice. It's better than some that they've done. They could still do more if they wanted to, especially for the price they're commanding for these things. I do believe that the price is high for what you're getting. Part of that, of course, is the fact that it is a cat model of a cat machine. Here, the right side of the machine. Again, they did a nice job on the graphics, the 336EH, the cat logo. The flat black right next to it looks a little odd, but what are you going to do? Cat logo on the boom is pretty nice. Again, the stick is huge. This model does come with a quick coupler, and that is going to bring me to the other part of the model that I believe, or that I feel, is unacceptable, which is this bucket. Now, I don't know about you all, but I have never seen a bucket in real life that does not have teeth on the outside edge. That one really, I cannot figure that one out yet. Now, of course, the other thing that they did not do that makes no sense is they made a different quick coupler. Now, by the way, this quick coupler, I've never seen this style of quick coupler in the United States. I believe there are some similar to this in Canada, maybe Europe, but I don't get what the point is. I'm still seriously considering making a cat style, but not an actual cat quick coupler, in which case there'd be a throat in the front with buckets that would have pins, solid pins in the front, and then a removable pin that you would push through the bucket and the quick coupler to hold it on. I'm pretty impressed with this model overall, so I am really considering doing that. That I would obviously make for sale with new buckets, because I think there's a lot that could be done with this machine. So the bucket, and for once they made a decent bucket. I mean, it's not that bad except for the teeth, and the teeth ruin the whole thing. I would also rather, if anybody from Norscot's paying attention and cares, I would much rather that you guys just go back to riveting the bucket on the machine than these stupid, wacky quick couplers you guys keep coming up with. And of course the quick couplers are always plastic. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, because if I did one, it would probably be resin. Now, of course, if I was going to do one and do buckets, as I had stated in a previous video that I would consider doing, they would almost have to be resin because of the boom creep issue. Now, maybe if Norscot does a second run of these, which is possible because they do that quite frequently, they may correct that boom creep issue. Hopefully they would, if they had the chance. So who knows. But I'm going to show you guys, before I forget, the back of the cab, that tiny little window. It's kind of unusual, but don't want to leave that out. Again, the tracks do roll very freely. They're very nice. I have talked to a few people that have gotten theirs and they have been broken right off the bat. That has not happened to me. It has with other models in the past. So we'll just show you guys the service steps real quick, and then we'll conclude this, as this is already a 16.5 minute review. The boom, the stick, quick coupler. Again, I am surprised by the quality of the piece overall. It's not really typical for Norscot to make a piece that is this high quality. I do still believe, however, with saying that the price is exorbitant. It's expensive. They're basically conditioning us that if they ever make a 385, which would now be a 390 size excavator, I believe that if Norscot ever made one, which is entirely possible in the future, whether it be this year, next year, or any other year, I really believe that they are going to try to get at least $200, if not $250 for it, seeing as how now our 30 to 40 ton class excavator model is already 90 to 100. I did not pay retail for this, and I would not. I'm probably going to pick up a few more of these before it's over, and I'll probably try to buy a case for the savings. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Hope it covered everything. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Please subscribe to the Mike's Model Reviews YouTube channel if you haven't already, and like the Mike's Models 2011 Facebook page for all the latest scale model news, reviews, and custom projects. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.